a Redeemer, Jesus, God's own Son, precious Lamb of God, Messiah, Holy One.
Why in the world is there a t-shirt hanging in the tree in the woods behind me? Well, it's the sweaty t-shirt trick to fool deer's sense of smell. One of the things that happened when God gave mankind permission to eat animals is that the fear and dread of mankind fell upon the deer. But we are still under the blessing that God gave in Genesis 1 to be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it, rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air and the beasts of the field. So we are smarter than the deer are, and we can pray for God's blessing and wisdom and help in this task of, well, hunting the deer. Okay, so what we noticed over the years in hunting agricultural properties is that the deer always seem to be less afraid of the farmer who was there all the time than the deer were of the hunters who kind of showed up around hunting season and started killing them. We thought about that. What do the deer learn to be comfortable with about the farmer? Do they recognize that he looks different, that he's always on the tractor, that he's got this routine that doesn't bother him? And eventually we figured out that the deer recognize the farmer by his smell. To a deer, every human being smells different. And by becoming accustomed to how the farmer smells and associating the farmer with not really being a threat, and maybe even associating the farmer with all the agricultural crops that deer love to eat and the mineral blocks and whatever else, the deer learn that the farmer is not a threat. So what we started doing as hunters is a couple months before deer season even starts, we hang sweaty t-shirts in the woods close to our deer stands. And we refresh those sweaty t-shirts every time we're out there cutting shooting lanes or setting things up, or maybe refreshing corn pile, working on food plots, putting out a mineral block, whatever it may be. So the deer have a chance to become accustomed to what we smell like in the woods. Now, we are careful with scent in every other way. In other words, we wash our hunting clothes in scent-free detergents. We use scent-free soaps. We plan ingress and egress routes so that we're not walking across too many deer trails on the way in and out. We wear rubber boots. We do all the things that we know to do. We hunt from elevated platforms, so we do all the things we know how to do to control our scent. But then when the wind shifts or when something else happens and the deer catch a whiff of a stinky human, because we all stink to the deer, they are accustomed to that smell because they've been smelling our sweaty t-shirts for the last few months. And so we buy a little more time before the deer spooks and hopefully have a chance to get that shot off and, well, bring home the venison, as it were. Well, does the sweaty t-shirt trick really work? Well, it's impossible to know completely for sure without, some kind of scientific study, but here are some deer that were killed with situations where the hunters made sure that their scent was in their hunting area, in their stands, in a continuous way. So this guy was killed with that approach, this guy was killed using that approach, and this guy was killed using that approach. So these bucks definitely think that the sweaty t-shirt trick works to fool deer's sense of smell, and it's definitely worth some prayerful consideration.
When I stand in glory, I will see his face, and there I'll serve my King forever in that holy place. Thank you, oh my Father, for giving us your Son and leaving your Spirit till the work on earth is done.